was on a family trip to England recently, during which time the Queen died. That was a very interesting time to go, but that's actually not what we're talking about today. Today, we are going to talk about a particular attraction that I got to see towards the end of its construction phase called the Sea Monster. Hey y'all, it's Becky here from the Beckosphere, where we talk about climate news and solutions. And today we're going to talk about this really cool attraction called the Sea Monster, which is one of the UK's largest art installations located on Weston-super-Mare, right along the beach. It was created by a Leeds-based creative studio called New Substance with the help of several scientists and engineers, like Climate YouTube's very own Dr. Gibbs. And it was made as part of the creativity event Unboxed, which features 10 new ideas shaped around science, technology, engineering, art, and math topics in the UK. The project was also supported by the North Somerset Council. The Sea Monster is designed to talk about creative and artistic forms of clean energy and methods of recycling fossil fuel infrastructure. It's actually made from a retired oil rig from the North Sea that was brought to land and converted into this amazing art piece, which is the first time that an internationally based oil rig was brought somewhere for a different purpose. So naturally, I was super excited to check out this project after hearing about it back in May. While I did get there a week before it actually opened, I was able to view it under construction. To head to the viewing platform, you go through a cafe into this space that shows the history of Weston-super-Mare's extreme tide. Weston is actually very aware of sea level rise and the power of the sea because it features the second largest tidal difference in the world, with its one tidal range being a 15-meter difference. The only place that beats this is on the coast of Canada. I think it's on the Atlantic coast. There have been several destructive tidal events in the coastal town's history, with the most recent one being in 1981. That event knocked out several buildings and brought sewage up to the streets. Luckily, no one died. So there was a lot of homage to this particular flooding event in the exhibit you walk through before you get to see the Sea Monster. There's also some examples of recycled fashion, interviews with people talking about climate change, and even a place where you can stick your own ideas on the wall. After taking some time to view the construction process, I got to talk to Antonia Grammens, an event director and consultant at New Substance, to learn more about the Sea Monster. This is what she had to say.
So way back when, a few years ago, we were approached by Unboxed to come up with an open, optimistic, original idea that would celebrate UK creativity. And it was Patrick, the founder and creative director of New Substance, that came up with the idea of reuse and how can we reuse structures, be those environmental, industrial, physical structures that are no longer used. And he was sort of thinking about platforms for change and how these conversations could be had. And the thinking was that what better platform to have a conversation than one of the biggest platforms in the world, which are oil and gas platforms. So that's how the crazy idea started. And then it was just a matter of trying to sort of lock down a platform and speak with those in the energy and oil and gas authorities and industries to see if they would let us embark upon this project. So that was more than a couple of years ago now, and now it's here and we've started. I think the most difficult aspect of the project was getting it to move over waters to the UK, because there currently isn't a rule book or a blueprint for doing this. It's a world first in terms of the ability to move a platform across waters into another country, into the UK, and reimagine it as an art installation. So every time we approached a local authority and a national authority and governments, everyone told us it was possible and they backed us and they were excited about it, but no one could tell us how to do it. So in effect, we've completely written a new rule book of how these structures can be reused, how they can be transported and the still work reused and reimagined into something amazing. Western seagulls. Yes. To add just a bit of atmosphere.
Exactly. We're on the coast, can confirm.
Exactly. We are on the UK coastline. So yeah, it was the first time that anyone had ever sort of broached this kind of reuse. So I think that was the difficult thing, but the wonderful thing now is that we now have a blueprint for how this can be done, and we hope that there'll be future reuse projects that can learn from everything that we've done, and provide a footprint for things going forward. There's an incredible amount to see on each floor. On the ground floor we have the pool and the 10-metre high waterfall. As you work your way up to the cellar deck, we have an amazing experiment in sort of cloud formation, and then on the garden lab is where we have our overgrown wild garden. It's where our renewable energies, the wind nest, the solar tree, our stepping stones will be there as well, and you'll be able to see our amazing crane from there, which is the original crane from the platform, and then you'll make your way to the top, which will be our heli deck. That has our amphitheatre. It's a real kind of contemplation space. We have the telescopes where you'll be able to see out to Wales and afar. But there's just so much to see on it. We have some incredible hosts as well, that know all about the platform, the process, Sea Monster, everything it embodies and all of our values, and they'll be there to help people and really bring it to life. We have a whole host of renewable energies happening on the platform. We have been working with Land Arc Generator Initiative, who are an incredible design but science-led sort of renewable energy brand. They have hired the likes of Trevor Lee, and they're one of our main contacts, and he has designed an incredible piece called Wind Nest, which harnesses the wind and creates renewable energy. We've also got the solar tree, which was designed by our company New Substance, which takes obviously the sun and will harness that energy and reuse it. We've also got wind sculptures as well that are worked on by our collaborators, Ivan Black, who is one of our, he's a kinetic sculptor and one of our board members. And even from the kind of waterfall as well, that entire, the way that that's powered, the water is completely reused. So we've got a lot of different renewable energies happening on the platform, and the idea is that people will be seeing renewables in a different light and more of a design-led light. So everyone's seen a wind turbine, you know, everyone's seen solar panels, but people haven't seen wind nests, they haven't seen solar trees. So it really provides us with an opportunity for us to showcase these science-led but also design-led incredible installations. So the whole premise of Unboxed and Sea Monster, as part of the Unboxed commissions, is what happens when the world of science, technology, engineering and maths meets the world of art and design. So predominantly schools, anyone in education, and just our government and everybody sort of talks about science, tech, engineering and maths. But I think what this project aims to do, and what Unboxed really wanted to show at the forefront of our thinking going forward, is when you bring art and design in that space, what can happen? So when you look at the oil and gas industry and the fact that the energy industry is moving so much towards renewables and cleaner, greener energy, when you actually bring art and design into that field, which is predominantly a very maths, engineering, science industry, you can bring those sort of the creative thinkers into it and create something like we have done. And it only takes when those worlds come together that you can create something like Sea Monster. So I've been on the project for over a year and a half, have seen it come to fruition, have been through the very highs and the very challenging lows, but it's been incredible. It's been one of the most amazing and the biggest things I've ever worked on. Being a world first, it's come with its challenges, but we really do hope that people look at this and go away and think about how exciting renewable energies can look, how thought-provoking they can be, how the Great British Weather can play a part in that, and be harnessed and talked about and be this joyous thing that we all, us Brits, love so much, but also how structures can be reused in the future, not just these platforms, but how can we rethink industrial structures, and how they can play a part in our green future.
If you are in the UK, I highly recommend checking out this neat project and others that are part of the Unboxed event. Links will be available in the description box below. The Sea Monster will be open from September 24th until November 5th, and it is free to check out. So you really have no excuse not to. Until next time, remember to talk about the climate crisis every single day and to support your local news organizations. Thank you so much to the people on Patreon who help support me and my fur baby Rue. A special shout out to the climate confident and courageous David H., Norman Anal, Greg H., Paul B., Phil Plasma, Dan Morton, Dane Chris, Nate, and Specker. I greatly appreciate your support of $5 or more. If you would like to support the Beckosphere, please check out the Patreon and Buy Me a Coffee links in the description below for reoccurring or one-time payments. Bye for now.